Welcome back, guys. For this episode, we did this a while ago, maybe a year and a half ago. We did an episode on limiting beliefs, and we got so much positive feedback from it because that is one of the skill sets that I want to leave people with. Maybe you're not that interested in just leveling up your network or just leveling up your dating life. Maybe you just internally just don't give yourself permission. So we wanted to go over some of these limiting beliefs that are keeping you from getting to the goals that you want to get to, because it really is, in the end, the stories you don't tell yourself, or the stories you do tell yourself that other people aren't. There's people that are just as the same height as you, the same socioeconomic class as you, the same color as you, that have every excuse to fail that you have, but they're succeeding for some reason. And the reason why is because the things they tell themselves internally. So what we're going to do is handle some of the most common limiting beliefs that we've seen that keep you from getting to that 8-figure company, that keep you from dating the girl of your dreams, that keep you from being an incredible leader, that make you a passive-aggressive communicator. Those things, we're going to cover those today. So today with me, I've got two gentlemen here. You may recognize Tristan Darshan. He is the fulfillment director here for the Men of Action group, and he's obviously the co-host of Access Vegas. And for the first time, which is shocking to me, the first time he's been on here, the head coach for the Men of Action group, it is Casey Herzog. How you doing, Casey?
What's up, guys?
Good to have you here, man.
Hell yeah, man.
All right.
Excited.
No, awesome, man. This is him sitting across the table is the closest he's going to get to guarding me on a basketball court. This is about it. Awesome. So Tristan, you've dealt with, at this point, we've had 4,000 clients. Both of you have dealt with 4,000 clients. And so what we can identify from that is these are the most common limiting beliefs that the guys have, and we want to help you internally, because some of you guys may be watching this, you're not interested in a self-help program, you don't want to do any of this, but you still know there was something that happened with your mom and dad when you were growing up where they slapped you on the hand and told you to shut the f up and go sit in the corner. No creativity, do what we say, go to the school we say, marry the woman we say. And because of that conforming sheep-like mentality, you have a real difficulty with limiting beliefs. And so that's what we're here to help you with.
Yeah, I mean, I think a core theme, I think that's come up over the past couple of years. And Casey and I we have one-on-one calls all the time, and we talk about like the old pickup days and like what guys would do and stuff like that. I'm not saying we need to bring all that stuff back, but I think that the advent of the Red Pill community rising up, as much as we all love Red Pill, we host a podcast with Rollo, I do notice that there is this sentiment where it's not even like guys have like this one core limiting belief. It's just like, I think that because they see these stats and things like that, to have a better social life, to have a better dating life, to have a better network, a lot of men just have kind of just given up. And you kind of just sit in this like, I know we talk about this all the time, right?
Yeah.
Like they don't have shame.
Yeah, they don't have shit. This is one of the biggest problems is if I'm sitting there trying to motivate you and I'm like, hey man, you haven't had in 10 years. We get this frequently. How many times a month do we get a guy 10 years haven't had crazy high numbers? You haven't had in 10 years, man. Like you've been guys who've been taken advantage of by guys who've gone on dates on dating apps and been like robbed, like literally guys getting put in the friend zone, and you still don't think that you want to do this right now. Like you still feel the need to wait. It's insanity, because the only reason why you have the privilege of ever believing that is because you forgot you're going to die. That's the only reason. The idea that I would waste 1 minute of my life not trying to improve or get better in these areas that I care about is madness to me. It's insanity.
Yeah. So Casey, I know you obviously coach a lot of guys on a daily basis. What is like, how do you motivate guys who are, I guess, in that pitfall, right? They're giving up, they're kind of dejected, and like, how do you get them to take action and start improving their life?
Yeah, I mean, dude, this is probably one of the most common things I run into when a guy is starting down his path of like improving his life, because it's the easiest thing in the world to just be like, oh, this is fine. This is okay. Like, it's fine that I'm not getting laid. It's fine that, I'm only making, $60,000 a year. It's fine that my life is average. And so one of the first things that I have to work with guys on is like, how do they get out of that mentality of like being okay with mediocrity? It's insane to me.
A lack of shame.
Insane.
A lack of shame, like you said before, yeah.
And so I think the biggest thing for guys is like getting very clear on their goals. Like, what do they want to accomplish? And then actually, I walk them through this a lot. I talk to them. I'm like, what is the most common thing that people on their deathbed say they regret? And I asked them this question. I'm like, what is it? Do you know? And they, half the time they do, half the time they don't. But the answer is they regret the things they didn't do.
Yes.
And I'm like, do you want to be on your deathbed? You're going to be there sooner than you think. You're going to blink your eyes and you're going to be on your deathbed. Do you want to be sitting there being another statistic saying all the things you regret you didn't do?
Yeah.
And once you like hear that, it's like, oh, like if you can just go through life like with that mentality of like, I don't want to regret something, like regret not doing something on my deathbed, then everything else gets solved.
How many times do you guys have clients who say, you changed my life, or come to immersion and say, this was the best week of my life? How often?
Every time.
All the time.
Someone's always crying.
Hundreds and hundreds. Every immersion, someone's crying.
This is why, like on my group calls, I'll be like, hey, who just came to immersion? And it's like 5, 6, 7 guys that are like, me. I'm like, cool. I don't even like prep them or ask them. I'm like, cool, just tell me how'd it go. And they're like, oh, it changed my life. This was insane. This was the craziest week. Like I learned blah, blah, blah. It's just like every single time.
Again, so when we talk about anticipatory regret, the term you're talking about, Jeff Bezos talks about this. What are you going to regret? What can you anticipate that you will regret when you're 80 years old? The guys who come and take action, it could be our course, it could be any other course. The guys who take action, like again, this is one of the main things. We've all bought coaching before. We buy, as a company, we spend 6 figures, more than that, a year on coaching from other brands, which causes us to get better. This is one of the reasons why, one of the most difficult parts about being a hater is that you close yourself off to new information and you never get the software update. You can see guys that are in the pickup community who are big time haters and they don't, you'll notice they're still doing the same thing from 20 years ago because they don't have any software update. So the open-mindedness and the ability to just make decisions is what's so incredibly important. And the other thing I want to talk about, you mentioned this before, I'm going to describe to you what weakness is. Like, this is ultimate weakness. This is what weakness sounds like. If you guys were ever wondering, this is it. You want to get as far away from this as you can. You have all the facts, you have all the information. I need a day to think about it. That is what I just want you guys to understand what that is your ego terrified of the change that's about to come. I need to talk to some people about this before I make this decision. That's the sound of women's vaginas drying up, listening to your inability to make decisions. Oh, I mean, I'm just not going to make a decision today. I just like need a day to think. I got to talk to my wife. I got to talk to them. This is what's going on is there's no legitimate, and again, I'm not talking about things where you don't have all the information. What I'm saying is when you do have the information and you still need that, what's going on is your brain is terrified of the change that's coming. And when it thinks about it, like your pride and shame is down here, but your fear of change is way up here. And so it's terrifying. And then you get on with us and we're all like, we all big booming voices, and it's very clear we're going to change you. That's where the terrifying feeling comes from.
Yeah, no, something we talk about this, and I got this. Shout out to Jake. Actually, he said something really powerful to me when we coach immersion. Is that you will never, think your way out of a limiting belief. You will never think your way into the right actions. You just need to take an action.
Yes.
Right. And like when you have that mentality of like, okay, like I'm going to think about this. I need to analyze it. It's like, no, bro. It's like, that's why you're in this predicament in the first place.
Yes.
So the thought process and mindset that have gotten you to where you are right now is not going to take you to where you want to go.
Yeah, it's so wild when I hear guys, just in general, like, I need some time to think about it. It's like you see all the air comes out of the room, and I'm just so disappointed for them, just watching them slap themselves in the with a hammer over and over again. Just keep dropping the hammer on their foot over and over. Like, we're watching them and they don't understand. Like, I'm not mad at you. I can see what you can't see. Does that make sense? Like, you have a family member who needs medical attention for some disease and they don't want it, and they just like go off and live their life, and they're going to die. That's what it's like when I talk to these guys. I'm like, yo, this is the solution right here. And you keep screwing yourself over by saying, you know what? I need a day to think about it. And it's just so wild watching it. And it's like, okay, the woman of your dreams who's going to give you 3 beautiful children is right in front of you. I need a day to think about it. The weight trainer, the diet that you need that is going to change your life and prolong your life, it's right there in front of you. You know what? I got to talk to my friends. I need a day to think about it. The epitome of weakness in 2025 is that statement. I need a day to think about it. I need a week to think about it.
Yeah.
That is the epitome of what weakness looks like right now.
No,
100%.
And Casey, funny enough, something we joke about. I know, obviously, we make fun of pickup artists and stuff a lot. But one thing we do give them credit for is those take action. They will do the thing.
For that reason, there's sometimes some of my favorite guys to coach because they come from a history of like, back in the pickup days, all it was just go take action. It was like, go talk to that girl, go do the thing, which was part of what was good about that culture. Now, obviously, there's a lot of shit is definitely outdated, but that one piece makes people a lot more successful in the program because they're just willing to take action. And one of the cool things as well,
Hey, no one goes for it more than a creepy pickup guy.
They go for it.
They go
Say what you want about them. They go for it.
they go for it every
They're not
time.
suffering from depression.
Yeah, and going back to what Sartain was kind of saying, you know, when it comes to, like, I work with a lot of guys all the way through the program, 6 months, a year, however long I work with them. And at the end of the program, I always ask them one question. I'm like, what would the new you of today tell the old you who you were, you know, on that sales call, thinking about joining the program? Maybe you were a little bit hesitant. What would you have told yourself on that call? And every single client who's like my favorite client who crushed the program, their answer is, oh, I wasn't hesitant. I as soon as I heard it, I was ready to go. And every guy who says that, I'm like, of course. It makes sense. It makes 100% sense that you're the guy that was answering that. Like,
how many guys have you gotten? For me, it's well over 100 that have said, thank you for not letting me tell you no. Have you got that?
All the time.
tons.
Actually, because there was a time where I was doing sales and like filming and stuff, and they would come on the call and say thank me, and I was like, hey, motherfucker, do you remember when you gave me all this shit for 3 months?
Yeah, 3.
And you could have gotten this 3 months out of your life. Do you remember that? They're like, yeah, I do. I'm sorry.
So many times, thank you. I'm hard. And it's usually successful, analytical men who have very sharp minds, but it's just, imagine having the incredible IQ horsepower to be able to solve the world's problems, but you keep stepping on your own over and over again because you need time to think about.
Well, I would argue that like that mentality that lets you solve the world's problems makes you worse with women.
Yeah, because so we use logic, reason, accountability, and deduction in order to solve problems for other people. And in our business, the business is just what the definition of business is, just an ever-evolving problem that never gets solved, right? That's what business is. Now, the thing is with women, I'm not using reason, accountability, and logic. If I go up to a guy and I don't dress well, but I can still solve his problems, he doesn't care that much because we're not dating. It's a different. I always talk about men versus men, or in a business setting, how it's very different. If I'm offering value, it doesn't matter what I look like. If I'm the best coder, if I can solve the problems with your sales team, and whatever, if I can help you with fulfillment. With women, you're selling a feeling. And so that doctor, that anesthesiologist, or that engineer, or that construction worker, he's solving a problem. That's how he makes money. We're selling a feeling. And so until you understand that dichotomy, and you're never going to understand it because you're like, I just need a day to think about it. If you don't understand that dichotomy, what happens is you keep getting better with money. And then women see you fumbling on your phone, Instagram, no idea, you walk weird, your voice is passive, and she's like, oh, I'm going to take advantage of this man for money. I'm going to take his, well, again, I've said this a million times. If women are constantly asking you for money, it's because your arms aren't big enough. They can smell the incompetence and irrelevancy of you. And then, but the way to describe it, the ultimate phrase to describe irrelevancy and incompetence is, I need to think about it.
Yeah. I was actually, I don't know if you guys have the same experience. I can tell a guy does not have a good social life and does not know hot girls when he gets onto a call and doesn't know how to use Zoom. I just know.
Yeah, there's no exception to that.
Yeah.
If you don't know how to use the flash on your phone or how to use Zoom, there is a 100% correlation to you not being good with women. If you're hearing this and you think that you're actually good with women, what's happening is you're being approached. You don't recognize what's going on. I live in Las Vegas. I'm no shame. I know a bunch of girls who are working girls out here. I ask them a question all the time. How do you choose the guys you choose? They look for guys who walk funny. They look for irrelevant haircuts, clothes that don't fit, and guys who don't know how to use their phone. Those are the first guys the go after when they see your irrelevancy and your incompetency. So that's the other thing that it's just really important that you understand. It's my job to teach you to get it. It's our job to teach you to get it. And when you get it, then what you get is genuine sexual desire from a woman, as opposed to a woman wanting a transactional relationship from you.
I question for both of you. I want to hear both your perspectives on this because you guys have been coaching way longer than I ever have. From when I look at it and from what I hear from back in the day, it's like when you kind of had the pickup days, even though a lot of the stuff was wrong, there was this, like, I guess, enthusiasm and this positivity to go out there and improve yourself. But then when, a lot of red pill content started going viral and then like you kind of like started describing the nature of women, a lot of guys got cynical and given up. Why do you think that happened back in the day?
What do you? I'm curious. I have a different answer.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about like the pickup guys, like why they kind of fell off.
No. I'm talking about like back then the mentality was like take action, you can improve yourself. Like there was hope. Now there's just the opposite of that.
Yeah, man. I think it's because back in the day, the pickup had this mentality of like you could be ugly, dressed like all this thing, and you could overcome all of it through game.
Yeah.
And like there's an aspect to that for sure. Like, but it's such a bad way of thinking just in general. Like, do you really want your life? Like, is that really the way you want to live your life? Is like be this absolute piece of and then like trick women into you? Like, that's just a wild mentality to have. And so I think that once the, people like Michael Sartain came in, they're like, oh yeah, improve yourself, become a better version of you. The guys were like, wait, what? I have to be a better version of me. I have to go to the gym. This is gay. This. And it's like that mentality shift, like not a lot of the pickup guys were able to transition into that mentality shift, which was pretty rough.
I have a little bit more of a analytical, specific answer to this question, and that is hot women stopped going out.
Yeah.
That's what happened. What generally happened is, when I used to go out with Mystery, who, by the way, whenever we criticize pickup, we're generally not talking about Mystery because Mystery does like a very indirect game and actually was the first person to teach me Social Circle. He actually talks about Fame Game. I'm talking about the derivatives of Mystery that came afterwards. In general, the thing that I figured out over the last couple of years, and now the data completely backs this up, there are dozens of clubs shutting down in Los Angeles because hot women don't go out anymore. There's 5 clubs per week shutting down in London because hot women don't go out anymore. So you're like, well, Michael, that sounds hopeless. It would make you feel hopeless. If the skill set you learned was cold approach pickup and you keep going to venues where there's no attractive women, of course, that would also make you feel hopeless. And then having a girl who's a hard 5 sit there and reject you, that would make you feel hopeless.
You go out and do day game all day and you see like 2 hot women in an 8-hour period.
And then, and then the same guys will see your Instagram, and my Instagram, and be like, you guys must be paying them because what we're doing is so outside the reality. Yeah. The answer to the question, the hopefulness comes from helping other people with their events, throwing your own events, and creating a ratio of 3 to 7 girls for every guy. When you do that, then that ends the hopelessness. But it's so outside the reality. You should see on Twitter, whenever, because the age-appropriate people really try to attack me on there. When we're on Twitter and I show—
Age-appropriate people?
Age-appropriate people are older, overweight women who don't like the fact that a 40-year-old guy is dating a 20-year-old. That's the age-appropriate crowd. The age-appropriate crowd gets so angry when they see the videos of me with younger girls and they talk about how creepy I am and all this kind of stuff. They have a serious problem with this idea because, again, it's one of these things. It's really funny. Orion Taraban said this. I think it's fantastic. Young, hot women don't not have a problem with the concept of a sexual marketplace because they're winning, right? Right? It's like the NBA player who never won a championship being like, rings are not that important. Young, hot women think that a sexual marketplace is A-okay because they're at the top of the sexual marketplace. They're above men. They're at the top of the sexual marketplace. Older women who are not prime in the sexual marketplace hate the idea of a sexual marketplace. And they try to tell people that anyone who comes up with that idea is being a horrible part. It's like, oh, who hurt you, bro? This is creepy. And then, so the insult that happens for you, I'm sure you get this and I get this, is the only reason these women are hanging out with you is because they're sugar babies or whatever, because they can't square the circle. And then when I come out and I say, I've said this more than a dozen times, I'll give you $50,000 if any of you can find one girl I've ever paid to come to any of my events, take a photo with me, go on a date with me, hang out with me, anything. And then all of a sudden the comments just shut up. And they just never follow up. But it's so outside the reality, they must attack me and then attack the women by saying they're unhealed or they're or whatever. And so because of that, that's where the skepticism comes in. And of course, if all you ever did was pick up, then you never got a 10. I'm sorry, if all you did was pick up, you never got a 10. Let me say the third time. If all you did was pick up, you never got a 10. So when you see 10s with us, it's confusing to you.
Yeah, I actually kind of had this revelation the other day. Because I see a lot of, I don't know if you ever see these posts come up by like these other, these coaches and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, why do these guys have millions of followers? They get massive amounts of engagement. And I see the things that they talk about. And like, I swear to God, I saw a post the other day. This guy has like 2 million subscribers on YouTube. And literally his post said, yeah, the most efficient way to meet beautiful women in today's age is to use dating apps. And I was like, you know what I think, guys? I actually think that, Casey, Mike, I think the things you guys do, like the reason, even though it's better, it just is so out of the norm of reality that it feels too good to be true.
Dude,
there's even more skeptics.
Dude, we've had copywriters come on our team and they look at our results and they're like, we don't know what to write here because this is too good to be true. You really did get Sandeep from New Delhi laid. That really happened. He's dating we can't explain this away. It doesn't make any sense. But yeah, back to what you're saying.
So Casey, when you are coaching guys, how do you get them out of that mindset to take action? Also believe like what they're trying to do is even possible. Because I feel like they're in such a state of dread a lot of the times where they even though they can see and verify that like we do it, they still don't believe they can do it.
Yeah, I mean, the taking action thing really is like a snowball effect. So like when I'm coaching a guy, my first goal is to just get them to take one step forward. And it's crazy. Once a guy takes one step forward, it's like everything else falls into place. They just like fix their Instagram and all of a sudden I get a message, dude, my ex hit me up last week and is like trying to hang out with me again. And I'm like,
dude, my ex hit me up. How many hundreds of times have each one of you heard that?
Every single client I work with has had their ex hit up. Every single
We're talking about clients who join MOA. Ex hits them up every single time we've had this happen. It's madness. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's wild. And so then it's so much easier to take action once you start seeing results. It's like, okay, just take one step forward. They take one step forward and they get results. And they're like, okay, how many more steps can I take? Like, Casey, show me all this stuff. The number of times I have a guy come onto my next call and he's like, Casey, give me as much stuff as you can give me to do. Yeah. Like, I want to do it all. What is it going to take? And I'm like, okay, cool, let's go. Whereas the first call, they were just like, okay, I got to do this. Okay. And they were like begrudgingly doing it. And then they take their first step and they're excited to take the next steps. It's insane every single time.
All right. So for the hyper nerds out there that are being taught that the way to get over your feelings is therapy, let me explain this to you. Let me explain this concept to you. So there's this concept called cognitive behavioral therapy, which is speech therapy plus behavioral therapy. Okay. You add the two together and it has a high efficacy rate for like, say, women who have borderline personality disorder and people who have like depression. There's another type called behavioral activation therapy where they take the behavioral part out and they get rid of the talk therapy. Which do you think is more effective?
Just the behavioral.
Consider this. Behavioral therapy without talk therapy is more effective than with talk therapy. Meaning I don't go off and sit there and blame my parents for why everything went wrong in my life or blame the government or blame the flat earthers or blame whoever I got to blame. Instead, I just take action. When you take guys, I promise you, go back and think, every time you had a basketball in your hand, you were never depressed. Every time a beautiful woman was showing you genuine desire, you were never depressed. Every time you finished a set of the bench press, you were never depressed. Every time you hit a three, you were never depressed. Just think about that. It's so crazy because what guys think is that we're taking action to cover our distress and our depression. No, we're taking action, which then replaces our distress and depression with positive neurochemicals. For the nerds out there, and the data is clear on this. Your ancestor 50,000 years ago, during the Pleistocene epoch, which one was rewarded with better feelings? The one who sat there, fell down when he was trying to hunt the gazelle, went back in the cave and cried about it for a few days? Or the one who got up the next day and went in to try to kill the gazelle 5-6 days in a row with a hungry belly and did not stop until he accomplished his goal, then brought the meat back to his tribe after doing it, and the tribe cheered him on and said, oh my God, and then was awarded a wife afterwards.
Yeah.
Which would evolution have rewarded? The man who takes action.
I heard the thing on a call the other day.
Okay.
It was the worst thing I've ever heard. I was on a call and a guy told me, man, I need to have the belief before I could take the action. I'm like, no, you don't. I like the guy, but I want to say, I'm like, dude, this is why you're overweight. You're in your 40s. You don't have any options. It's because you believe this. I'm like, no, bro, you need to do.
Yeah, isn't it wild? So I love this term, anything to not go to the party. It's like, okay, so you need to throw an event. We're going to help you throw a bikini competition. We're going to help you throw a photo shoot. We're going to help you throw a theme party. We're going to help you throw a list party. We're going to help you throw a charity event. We're going to help you throw a container event. Right? We're in MOA. We're helping you to do this. And you're just like, I just need to be in state and have my inner game on point. No, what's happened is you need any excuse you can to not take action. Inner game means excuse to not take action. Do you want to know what happens when you're having two beautiful women at the same time? Your inner game is fine for some reason. I don't understand why. When you out there and you're playing football and you throw a dot to playing flag football, you throw a dot to one of the receivers. For some reason, your inner game is on point. I don't seem to. When you look at your bank account and you made more money, for some reason, your inner game just seems to be fine. It is outward behavior that leads to inner success. And that's the problem. But the problem is guys want to start with the inner success first. Why? Because you're trying to do anything you can to not go to the party.
I remember I did a call with, we did a call the other day and I talked about I went to this party. It was really good. And I was in state the whole time. And I was like, yo, how do I achieve this? And you were like, bro, who the cares what your state is? Your state shouldn't not be the thing that dictates your success.
Yeah.
What did Mystery say? I do not care about your inner game. Yeah. What do you think about this?
It's 100% true. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't care whether I feel like or whether I feel amazing. And that's the whole point of MOA. That's what we do is we give you the tools to where no matter how you feel, you go out and do the things we tell you to do and you get the results. It's like we teach you how to throw the dime pass with the football so that you're just throwing dime passes and all of a sudden you feel good.
Yes.
And so no matter how
you don't
bad
recognize when it happens.
No matter how bad you felt before the football released your fingers, as soon as it touches the hands of the wide receiver, you're feeling great.
Yeah.
And that's what we teach you here in MOA. We're just going to take you, forget your feelings, forget how you feel about everything, go out and take that first step, do that first thing, all of a sudden you get results, and I never hear another word about inner game the entire rest of the time.
Again, guys who are taking action never ask us questions about inner game. Let me say that again. Guys who are taking action, and I'm not talking about men of action. I'm talking about when I hang out with very successful. I went to dinner with Bill Walsh last night. Dan Fleischman and I went to dinner. Obviously, I've been to dinner, dozens of times with, Bilzerian or Ty Lopez or any of those guys, Owen Cook. None of them, because they're taking action every day, none of them ever ask about inner game because they don't.
Wait, caveat though, unless they're selling a course on inner game, then you talk about inner game.
Exactly. Can you imagine what an incredible business model? Selling a course on not taking action. I just want to fix my inner game. What an unbelievable markup! An incredible business model that is. That's pretty amazing. But yeah, man, that's definitely one of the issues that's going on. The inner game thing is just an excuse that you have to not go out and take action. So here's the other part. There's a lot of skills you can have. You can be a good free throw shooter. You can be good at tennis. You can be good at golf. You can be a good copywriter. These are skills that you have, different attributes that you have. One of the skills you leave with in our program is the skill to take action when you don't want to. Let me say that again. So there's the skill itself, shooting the basketball, doing the copywriting, coding, whatever. There's the skill itself. And then there's an additional skill. It's called taking action when you don't want to take action. Taking action when you're tired or when it feels awkward or when it feels try hard. Always remember, the try hard guy took your client and your girl in a bathroom. The try-hard guy takes your woman every time. So that's the thing that people don't understand. It's not just the skill set, but it's also the skill set of doing when you don't want to.
Yeah. Actually, this is a good segue. Let's talk about immersion.
Okay.
Casey, you've been head of immersion for a long time. You've been coaching even before MOA immersion even existed. Talk about the way guys come into the program and the way they come out.
Oh man, yeah. Like day one is and the funny thing is like day one. I remember my first day because I took immersion way back in the day, and I remember my first day coming in, and after that first day, it was just like holy. Like the weight was off my shoulders, and it's because.
Do you remember 5-on-5 or like 7-on-7 basketball in a racquetball court?
Of course, bro.
It turned into rugby.
It was like fucking indoor, like football.
It was a wrestling match.
It was amazing that we never like actually hurt each other. Like that is wild. Yeah. But yeah, so they come in and they take insane action. So like the first day, they talk to 50 women. Day one.
Yeah.
And just from that alone, every guy comes back the next day a different person. Day two, they've changed. Yeah. Like it's like day one to day two, they're a completely different person. And by the end of the program, they have zero fear about talking to women. All approach anxiety is gone. They're like the way they carry themselves, the way they talk, the way they walk. It's like you would not recognize that person day one to like day 7.
What do you think it is about immersion? Is it just like the mass amounts of action, just overworking the thinking mind? What do you think it is about immersion?
It's a combination because like there's the action, which is like we just push hard to go take as much action as possible. Like it is a nonstop every single day, every single minute of the day. Like you're going out and doing something. But then we give them the tools to where when they go take the action, they get results from that action.
Yes.
Which is like the most motivating thing throughout the week is when guys are like coming in being like, yeah, I went home with the hottest girl I've ever gone home with in my entire life this week.
Yeah.
And it's like, cool. So they came into the program, they weren't taking action, they weren't getting results, and 2-3 days into the immersion program, they are going home with the most attractive woman they have ever gone home with in their entire life.
Let me ask you something.
Wild.
The most common compliment you get at the end of immersion. This was a great course. This was a great week. This was the best week of my life. Which one? What do you say you get the most?
Best week.
Best week of their life.
Again, guys, absolutely. It's not, this was a great course or I learned a lot. The thing they say is, this was the best week of my life.
I would be offended if a guy came up to me and said, this was a good week.
Yeah,
I would be confused.
This course is better than other courses. No,
I would be like, what do you
this was the best week of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
so definitely. But that's definitely an important one. The other thing I want to go over is this concept of what you said before, the inner game stuff. So they look different. They handle themselves differently. They walk differently.
Yeah.
That's inner game. But where did the inner game come from? 50 approaches, right? In the morning, photo shoots. In the afternoon, academics. At night, a cold approach, right? They do approach. And then the other thing is they become PhD level at merging sets and inviting the girls you meet on Monday to the club that you go out on Tuesday. They start building a social circle, and of course, social circle is the most.
It also shatters the belief because I always get this thing where it's like, well, you have to invest all the time into building a circle. It takes 6 months. No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't take 6
It takes 5 days.
It takes less than a week.
I remember,
it takes 1 day. We've had guys go out day one, show up to the club the next day with 10 girls.
Yes.
One day.
Building a social circle in
No,
one
we
day.
did it. We did it last month, bro. It was like day one was day one. I'm not gonna spoil it. Immersion too much for you guys.
Was
but
that Tuesday night on the last
Tuesday
immersion,
night, bro?
The craziest thing you've ever seen in your life?
Well, we had like 35 girls at one table.
We had again, video evidence. If you guys are skeptical, we had 35 girls at one table because we just went out and just basically took every hot girl at Omnia.
I show guys the Telegram group chats because like it's the craziest thing just to see the group chat because it's not me. I didn't make this group chat and make all these accounts that are posting in this group chat. Like this is the actual group chat that we have for immersion, and it's guys just posting themselves with attractive women at tables doing badass things. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is pretty wild. The same thing happens when we talk about social media, where it's like I'll post something and the guy will say, hey, I heard from my fat ex-girlfriend and my fat aunt that I shouldn't be posting these pictures with attractive women. So I will pick up I'll take the last picture I posted with attractive women and I'll go to who liked the post. And I was like, Playboy model, Playboy model, Playboy model, Playboy model, Maxim model, FHM model. And I look at them like, hey, bro, I posted this today. I didn't plan for this call to happen. I'm showing you a random photo I have and more attractive women and more women that have ever liked anything you've ever posted are here because what we do works, and it only works when you take action. You posting a killer photo on your Instagram, what kind of inner game do you need when you push that send button? When you post something on social media and it crushes, what does your inner game need to feel like? You can be in like wearing socks with holes in them, wearing fucking torn up underwear, looking fat with like food on your chest when you push post, and you still get the same results. Inner game doesn't mean anything first. Afterwards, inner game is the result, not the cause.
Which is better too. Like, would you rather have fake confidence, which is built off of nothing,
For sure.
which
Or
is
affirmations.
just shattered easily? Like, the funny thing is, what was like the number one thing you would learn in pickup was how to handle tests, right? Yeah. It was like the biggest probably topic of all things. Like, nobody cared that much about opening or about anything. They all cared about how do I handle the test. Why were tests so important? It's because they built their confidence on nothing. So a girl would just test them tiny bit, and they would fall apart.
Yeah, because
they would just fall apart.
Because you're right. They had no actual internal confidence.
Yeah.
Which again comes from action. Internal confidence comes from action. Taking massive action overcomes any inner game problems. Taking massive action overcomes your thinking mind.
When a girl tests you and you have 15 dime piece models hanging around you, you think it's going to affect you at all?
No, it's incredible. And then she's
at all.
so confused because this is a massive state break for her.
Exactly.
She's used to every guy coming up to her being a beta male that's going to send her pics and wants to have sex with her immediately and has no money and is a loser and etc. She already believes that. When you show up with the vibe of, hey, I got 3 girls at home waiting for me, or the vibe of you show up and you have a beautiful woman with you, again, a technique you learn in Men of Action, when you have a beautiful woman with you, that's a state break for her. She's not used to guys coming up to her. Well, again, if I have a beautiful woman with me, or there's a woman I like, the first thing I do is introduce her to a girl I'm sleeping with.
Yeah.
That is absolutely unequivocally, it works no matter what other people say. And one more time, if you don't believe me, stop what you're doing right now, go to my Instagram, go to Tristan's Instagram, go to Casey's Instagram, look at the photos that show pre-selection, and then look at all the women who like the photos. It's undeniable.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of Instagram, I know we get this flack a lot from a lot of guys, and this is actually something that is legitimate where there's a certain type of pre-selection that you can't post. And I think, Casey, you're a good example of teaching guys like what's good pre-selection versus bad pre-selection.
So if you go down to the bottom of my Instagram, it's all pre-selection.
Yeah.
It's just I transitioned out of it a little bit.
But
all my pre-selection's also in my highlights too. If you go look at any of my highlights reel, it's like the most beautiful women you've ever seen.
And that's the answer. The answer is if you are the anesthesiologist or you're the partner at the law firm and you don't want to show pre-selection on your IG, number one, if you do show it, make sure they're in a gown and you're in a suit. That's the first one. You're at a charity event, something like that. And then number two, keep it in the close friends list or keep it in the highlights in the story. Don't post it on your grid. That's the simple solution. But women that you're attracted to still see it, even though your nosy ass coworkers and your fat aunt don't see it. So again, let me just reiterate this. You don't have to post pre-selection on your grid. That's not important. In fact, some of the most famous guys that I know are some most popular, like Jason Strauss is a great example. He doesn't have to post pre-selection because he owns Tao Group. And so if you look at his photos, you see all these insanely hot women following him, commenting, and liking his photos. That's a different form of pre-selection that you can accomplish.
You don't have. You can post social proof without pre-selection.
Correct.
Yeah. And I my philosophy about this has changed, but I don't know about you, Michael or Casey, but like, I think it's okay to post mixed group photos. I think that's fine.
No, that's totally fine.
Over
because
time.
It shows you have friends. The problem is when all you're doing is posting lifestyle photos. You by yourself in front of the Grand Canyon, you by yourself at the Valley of Fire, you by yourself in front of the Burj Khalifa. It makes you look lonely. So just so we're clear, a couple of things. There's this controversy that's out there, and it's generally because some guys can't get good pre-selection photos. There's dating coaches that are like, you shouldn't post photos of you with attractive women.
Wait, and here's the funny thing to add to that. Yep. They strawman it by showing you the pre-selection photos, but they never show you the Ignite pre-selection photos. They never show you your pre-selection. They choose the guys who have the pre-selection photos.
Yeah, so the Pre-selection photos, you're grabbing the girl, the photo is blurry, the colors are bad, the light is wrong, or the
quality
girls
of
are
the
trying
girls.
to look
The quality of the woman.
the quality of the woman, the attractiveness of the woman, or the girl is mashing her boobs together or grabbing her butt. So lascivious, those are bad pre-selection photos. Good pre-selection photos, you're standing at a red carpet event, you and one of your buddies and 4 girls, they're in gowns, everyone's smiling, kind of turned in toward each other, and you've raised $100,000 for a dog rescue. That's a good pre-selection photo. That's the part. Now, here's the issue. You guys want to look this up yourself. The Royal Society and Southwest University have done studies showing men in photos by themselves and men in photos accompanied by attractive women who find them attractive, and it is 20 to 30% different. Men, again, guys, if you're 6, you take pre-selection photos, you become an 8. There's so many dating coaches that'll tell you this wrong, and women especially that will tell you this is wrong. Again, if you don't believe me, go to my IG right now, look at the photos that I have, where there's girls in there with me, and look at all the attractive women who like the photos. Pre-selection or mate choice copying in humans absolutely works. Second thing I want to point out real quick, there was a study done in 2017, and I'm trying to remember, I think maybe it was Oklahoma State or it was the Royal Society, I can't remember which one it was, but they basically show a man, and with this man, they look to see whether or not he's married or not. So the 59% of the women found this man to be attractive. They surveyed 150 women. They found him to be attractive. When they showed him with a wedding ring on and told the women that he was taken, 90% of the women found him attractive. Mate choice copying is the ultimate cheat code. Pre-selection is the ultimate cheat code. It's 80% of attraction is pre-selection.
So pre-selection doesn't just only work in person.
Yeah, it doesn't just, of course not. I mean, that's ridiculous. Like, the problem is, the problem with the guys who say that, and again, some of these guys, I love them, and I understand that because you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Again, it's the guy, you said before, there was a guy with 2 million followers on Instagram saying dating apps are the most efficient way to meet women. Yes, for him, they are, because what he could do is show that he has an abundant lifestyle, and then once the girl sees he has 2 million followers, yes, that would work for him. He's in that 4.5% that would work. When you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail, and privilege is invisible to those who have it. Most men don't have it like this guy does, so they don't understand the concept.
I think like one thing that is maybe confusing to some guys is they think that we're saying that the only attraction trigger is pre-selection.
You're right.
It's
Yeah.
he says pre-selection, that's the only way to get a girl attracted to you. Obviously it's not.
Yeah.
It's just an extremely effective way.
Because it's scalable. Because I can show pre-selection to 100 million women, whereas I can only cold approach.
And it works for everyone too. Whereas
exactly.
Whereas it's like, okay, how are you going to make the 5'3" guy 6'4"?
Yes.
Like that's just it's impossible.
And again, we have clients who are 5 feet tall, 4'11", dating beautiful women solely because of pre-selection, and having female teammates, which is another controversial topic that we talk about. That's a big one. But it's one of these things where we go back to the concept of the dating app. You notice the guys telling you get on dating apps and don't post pre-selection. Do you notice how they all have 6-pack abs and chiseled jaws? So the good-looking guys are telling you use dating apps because, again, when you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. When you're a good-looking guy, dating apps do work for you. When you have the Lamborghini, the yacht, and you're super good-looking, dating apps are great for you. But that's not 99% of men. And so this is why you get so much bad advice. Like, I hate to say this because there are some guys, like Justin Waller is a great example of a good-looking guy who gives really good dating advice, right? There's a few guys that are out there like this. But what I found is the really good-looking dudes tend to give terrible, terrible dating advice, and it's not even their fault. They just don't know any better. And the guys who are heavily invested in cold approach, they're very critical of social circle, but it's always because they've never done it. Remember, I was an approach coach from the Venusian Arts.
Yeah, people don't realize this. Yeah, talk about that.
I was an approach coach for the Venusian Arts 17 years ago. The guys who criticize me for not doing cold approach don't recognize I've done more cold approach than any of them. The difference is none of them have done social circle. I don't mean getting 6 friends together at a house. When I say social circle, Michael Sartain, MOA level social circle, 50 girls minimum walking into a club with you, and those girls introducing you to more clubs. That's my level of social circle. None of them have done my level of social circle, but I've done their level of cold approach, and I can tell you between the two, social circle is 100 times more efficient than cold approach.
I actually, I would love you, Casey specifically, is we hear obviously a lot about Michael on the show, but like, I remember when I first moved to Vegas, actually, when I first did my first immersion, the first immersion MO I ever did, I remember that. I remember you showing us videos of, like all the crazy events you used to do, like what you would do at the Wish Mansion, like bring 50 girls on on a party bus. And I was like, all right, well, how the fuck is any of us gonna do this? It's like super unattainable. Like, how is this even? It's not even that it's unattainable. It's like, is this even replicatable?
Yeah.
Right. And but I remember you like told me like on some calls that we had, we're like, well, you started from the bottom when you came here, right? You started from nothing, right? So talk about, because I think here's why I think a lot of the guys who do the cold approach and like they do dating apps and like why they go up so much is because there's an element to where like each guy has pretty much been on a dating app. Every guy's done some cold approach.
Yeah.
And getting better or getting a little bit more matches on Tinder sounds more attainable, so it sounds more realistic.
Yes.
Therefore, you get more engagement. What we do sounds very ultra unrealistic.
Correct.
So my question for you is, talk about the journey of starting from literally nothing, but then getting to that point and how it all builds up on itself.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's where like people get a little bit confused when it comes to social circle, because like when you start with social circle, like sometimes the results, it doesn't like quite click right away because it's an exponential curve. Whereas like cold approach pickup is like a very linear 1-0. Either I go out and I win, or I go out and I lose.
And you start over the same.
And then
zero
tomorrow
every
you
day.
do the same thing,
Yeah.
and the same thing, and the same thing. With social circle, it's like, okay, tomorrow I go out and I go 0 to 1. And then 1 to 2, and then 1 to 3, or 2 to 3, and 2 to 4. But then all of a sudden, it's like instead of going from 2 to 3, I go 2 to 4, and then instead of going 4 to 5, I go 4 to 8.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden, the results start compounding on themselves because you bring people into your social circle and they don't leave. When you're a cold approach pickup artist, it's like as soon as I a girl or I don't a girl, she leaves. She's done. She's out of the circle. With social circle, it's like I'm bringing these people into my life to where a year from now, you have the most insane circle of people because everybody stays part of your circle.
Yes.
You go out one night, you meet 10 people, you have 10 more people in your circle. You go out another night, you meet 20 people. Those 20 people are in your circle. And so what ends up happening is you build up this like network of people, and then all of a sudden it's impossible not to get laid. It's like I go out and I could try not to, and I have females introducing me to other girls who are immediately attracted to me. Or like I went on a trip with a good social circle buddy of mine, and we went out, we had 4 houseboats, we're out in the river. Girl just comes and sits down next to me. And we ended up hooking up, and I asked her, I'm like, why did we hook up? And she's like, oh, I just asked some of the other girls if you were taken, and they said no. And I'm like, what? That's all I have to do. It's wild.
Tristan, last night, how much work did I put into taking that Eastern European girl home?
None. She's just backstage at Zook.
You're just backstage, exactly.
Yeah.
It requires so little work. Let me say something really quick. I understand for a lot of people, I say things that are unrelatable when I was like, bring 50 girls. Your goal after a year should be 4 girls. Can I get 4 girls to go with me somewhere? If you can consistently get 4 girls to go with you somewhere, you will have an abundance of dates. Date 7 nights a week. You will have no trouble meeting women. I just do it because I don't know if I'm megalomaniacal or narcissist or whatever, but I like bikini competitions with 80 to 100 girls. I like to show up for my birthday with 50 girls. Like that's just me.
Or maybe you're just insecure.
You'd also
I'm
be
just super
surprised how often 4 girls turns into 8.
Well, I'll tell you right now.
8 girls.
If you told me right now, Michael, I need you to bring 10 girls to a party, or Michael, I need you to bring 100. Bringing 100 girls is easier than bringing 10. Steve Fowler told me this once, and I was like, I totally agree. It's really difficult for me to bring 10 girls to something. I can bring 100 because what I do is I create so much social pressure that all the girls want to come. And wherever you go in the city, if you take MOA, wherever you're in Wichita, Secaucus, or Las Vegas, wherever you are is always the best party. Whatever stage is always the best stage. Whatever concert I'm at is always the best concert because I'm bringing the value with me. And so because of that, I just never have to worry about these other concepts. And so because wherever I am is always the best party or whatever, I can't get 10 girls to show up. Every girl who's going out is going to the best party. If I'm going to a mansion party with 10 girls, then I end up going to the mansion party with 40 because the other girls are like, well, I can't go anywhere else if everyone's going to this mansion party. And so if there is no scene, you create a scene. And
I think this is one of the things that guys kind of have trouble with, as well as they are always like, especially when they're in cities like Miami and Vegas, where there's always a bigger, better deal.
Yeah.
But you're saying that you kind of frame whatever you're doing is the bigger, better deal.
I just believe it. I truly do believe that.
And so you're almost not even competing against these other things because in the way you frame things, and probably as well because you've been going out so long, the way you frame things on social media when you're posting, it's like if they don't come to where you are, they feel like they missed out, right?
When Babes in Toyland does their swim week and we have our preliminary for Miss Las Vegas, there will be no place in Las Vegas with hotter girls than us. No disrespect to Hakkasan, Zook, or Tao that's open that night, the same night. They will not have as many. We have 200 bikini models walking. I know when I go to a party or if I throw a party, it's always going to be the best party. I'm LeBron for the 10 years LeBron went to the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm LeBron. Whatever team I'm on is the best team. That's essentially what's going on here is that you learn this concept and it's what Ryan Teraband says. It's not much for a long time and then everything all at once.
Yeah.
That's
you said that?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. What do you, Casey, what do you, when you're coaching guys, obviously like, I think what me and Michael do is obviously like to the extreme. And I think we do that just to kind of show what's possible. Not it's like that's a vector and like we're at the top of the vector. A lot of guys don't necessarily want to be around 100 bikini models. Like, and I actually genuinely believe them. Like, but that skill is so important. So like, even for the guy who doesn't
I used to not believe them. Yeah. I used to think they were all coping.
Yeah, I used to not believe them either. Then I was like, oh, I actually believe them now. But what do you say to the guys who are like, all right, maybe they don't want to even go that far. They just want to have a few dates. They want to have a decent social circle. They want to meet maybe one girl. Like, how do you coach those guys?
Yeah, I mean, things don't change that drastically when it comes to that. It's just like, it's still the same path. It's just like, once you get to where you want to be, like, then you can just chill. Like, and that's the cool thing about Social Circle is like, with Cold Approach, again, it's always going out to do something to get more results. With Social Circle, you reach a point where it's on autopilot, where you have all your female friends, where you're getting invited to things all the time, and you no longer, like, every unit of effort, like, you don't have to put in any more units of effort in order to get units of results back. And so this is what the thing is, like, as soon as the person gets to where they want to be, like, cool. Like, dude, I'm pumped for them. Like, once they reach their goal. And the funny thing is, though, is like most of the time, once guys reach that goal, they want more. Like, a lot of the times, even though like sometimes it's not just coping, a lot of the times it is coping. Like, they're like, oh, I just want to meet one girl. And then they're hooking up with 5, 6 girls. And they're like, I want more. I want to have threesomes. I want to do this. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I thought.
Like, no, we're only here to get you married, guys. We're only here to get you that one special.
One special.
That your soulmate. We're here to find you your soulmate. That's what it is. This is a different thing. I think a lot of men don't understand. Women do not need experience with dating to get better with men. Men do need experience with dating to get better with women. This is an absolute biological dichotomy. It is a biological double standard. As women date more, they tend to become bitter. As men date more, they tend to become more calibrated.
So what would you say to the guys who want to possibly come into this program, but they have religious beliefs that would keep them from getting the quote unquote experience? What would you tell those guys?
You don't need to sleep with 50 women before you get married, but you need 50 women to want to sleep with you. That's it. And when they're dating you, when they ask you out or you go on a date with them, let's just say you've chosen for religious reasons to not have sex with them, they need to always know other women find you attractive. And by the way, if you've been married for 35 years, you also need your wife to know other women find you attractive. It is just a function of biology. We can believe again, a lot of guys, they end up coming to us because they believe that the journey was over. I got married. I can get fat now. I don't have to worry about game anymore. I can just chill and watch Netflix. And it's like, oh, honey wants me to mow the lawn. I'm going to mow the lawn because happy wife, happy life. That's what I heard. Oh, okay, baby. I was going to go work on my business, but you want to watch Netflix? That's fine. You get fatter and poorer and less ambitious. And then all of a sudden we grew apart and she's filing for divorce and you don't understand why. Or she comes home and says something like, I want to explore us like sleeping with other people. I want to explore like an open relationship.
And it never means other women.
Again, guys, real quick. When a woman says, I want to explore an open relationship, what does that mean just happened?
She cheated on you.
She just cheated on you. Let me say that a second time. When a woman comes to you and says, I need some space, I want to explore us in an open relationship, she just had sexual intercourse with another man and she's trying to retcon how she doesn't feel guilty. If you didn't know that, the reason why you didn't is because you're not in this program.
I think this is a really important thing because a lot of guys come into this program, and I run into this where we get them a girlfriend and they think that's where the road ends.
Right.
That's they've accomplished their goal. And I have to sit there and be like, bro, that is the most difficult part.
Yeah.
Like everything up until having the girlfriend was easy.
Yeah.
Now it's so much more important that your boundaries are set properly, that the expectations in the relationship are set properly, that your frame is immovable, that she can test your frame and you don't flinch. All of that stuff requires 10 times, in my opinion, more effort to actually accomplish at a high level than it did to attain the girl to begin
absolutely.
with.
Yeah. So one of the reasons why a lot of the guys have this problem is because they're affected by things that go on around them. Again, this happens mostly in our clients that come from homogenous societies. I mean, like Eastern European, Indian, Asian, where it's like there's a very structured way. It's almost arranged marriage. In India, it is arranged marriage, but it's almost like you go to this school and you do this behavior and there's no creativity and you sit in the corner and you absolutely care totally and completely what your family thinks whereas like my clients that come from...
We still deal with it even when they're in the program.
I'm going to be honest with you. My clients that come from a Hispanic or African-American culture, they don't give a fuck about this. They truly don't care who they like. They're give themselves permission, go up and talk to women, high testosterone, just they don't seem to have this problem. But my clients that again were Asian, Indian, or Eastern European, they tend to have a massive issue with this about giving themselves permission. And the thing that is most important is that when you stop caring about what other people think, you become the most alpha position possible, which is unaffected.
It's funny because you talk about that.
Yeah.
It's like, I've never seen a pickup company or a game company in Latin America.
Yeah, of course,
doesn't
because there's so many women. Yeah, I've said that before. It's like I noticed how there's no very little pickup companies in Bali. You know, it's just
like, and you go down to Latin America and the guys just go talk to women.
Yeah,
they just go talk. They see an attractive girl, they go talk to her, and you're just like, oh, this makes sense why these guys don't need game coach or whatever this, so it's super interesting. But
but again, the most beta position is I need a day to think about it. I got to talk to my friends about this. The most alpha position is totally unaffected. She did this, I don't care because I got 6 others. When you are affected by everything around you, you are a beta male sheep. I'm sorry if I'm using words that offend you, but I'm going to use these words because sometimes you need dynamite to get a boulder out of a hole. This is dynamite. You're a beta male sheep if you're affected by what goes on around you. Most guys I know are not offended by anything. Can you guys think of anything that would offend you? I can't think of anything that would offend you.
I definitely can't.
Yeah,
Tristan pushes it. But
yeah, he pushes the limit. Dude, you could have some girl come up to me just horribly unattractive being like, I should have won your bikini competition. It's rigged. Even that doesn't offend me. Nothing. No, you say anything you want about, I don't get offended. Masculine men do not
having shame.
Yeah, exactly. Masculine men do not get affected because masculine men understand an internal locus of control and have higher status, so they don't have this problem. Beta men they're beta male sheep. Again, consider you have a problem that someone else can solve, but you're going to do it tomorrow. You're going to procrastinate. Again, guys, risk taking and taking action is high testosterone behavior. Procrastination, putting it off till tomorrow, is low testosterone. It's less masculine behavior when you do that. High masculine men do not fear other things. They don't fear other people's opinions, and they respect each other's individuality. Low masculine men need a day to think about it, or they need to talk to other people who don't have their best. You guys understand, if you were trying to build a business and your mother has no idea what she's talking about, going to your mother for advice, while you may still love your mother, she's not going to be able to help you here. And also when it comes to dating, that feeling that you get when you see that super hot girl and you want to take her home, your mom's never had that feeling.
Dude, this is, and when you talk about that, I love it takes a day for them to think about it. I always love relating things back to poker, because poker is a phenomenal example of people being very risk tolerant and there being the benefit of the risk tolerance. So a poker player, a good poker player, just plays mathematically correct hands. And if he plays the mathematically correct hand every single time, he will win.
Yeah.
And so it's but if he folded every time, it might feel good in the moment because he didn't potentially lose as much money.
Neuroticism, yes.
But over the long term, he's going to lose massive. And this is how I think I view guys who they like need a day to think about it.
Bro,
it's like they're just
I
in
look
their
at
life, they're just constantly folding their hand over and over again. And they're like, but I didn't lose. I didn't lose.
no,
It's
but
like,
you did lose, bro. You lost the last 10 fucking years of your
that's
life.
literally,
bro.
it's
That's
like
what you lost.
Bro, you've been folding your hand for 10 years straight and wondering why you've never won a pot.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, and here's the other thing. Poker has a negative expected value, a negative EV. Going to talking to women does not have a negative EV.
Exactly. That's the wild thing. It's like you have all upside on this and very little downside.
Yes.
Very little downside. It's crazy to me.
Yeah. The other thing is worshiping at the altar of worthless people and their worthless opinions.
Yeah.
This is so insane to me how, again, this is one of the problems I have is like whenever I hear bad advice, it's the pickup artist dating a 4 telling one of my clients that he needs to go be creepy and show a ton of intent, or it is the really good looking dating coach who tells people don't post pre-selection photos. It's like these people they're worthless people with I'm not saying they're worthless individually, but like,
No, that's what I'm saying.
yeah, if you do a podcast and Joe Rogan hits you up, that's not a worthless person and he doesn't have a worthless opinion. If you're trying to start a company and Elon Musk hits you up with advice, that's not a worthless person and he doesn't have a worthless opinion. But your family members who don't understand the struggle that you're going through as a man because you have a burden of performance every day, they don't understand your problems. So going to them for advice actually makes the situation worse. And the other part, like I said before, is guys, consider this. There's a girl, like the girl of your dreams is behind me. And we're having a Zoom call. And I'm like, bro, here's the life-changing opportunity. Do you want to take it? And the girl of your dreams is watching me and you go, yeah, I need a day to think about it. You can hear her vagina just dry up like the desert because of how you are a beta male sheep. That's essentially what's going on.
Yeah, and I was talking to we had Dr. Swole here last night. I was we were in the car with him, and I actually brought up something very interesting. When it comes to the men's self-development, social struggle dating space, like this whole like kind of men's self-development space, I was like, hey, like Dr. Swole, if you were giving advice, right, but you were a fat, wouldn't people just call you out on it?
Yeah.
Because you do need to be in shape and show your receipts. When it comes to this space, you could have millions of subscribers, make millions of dollars, and show zero receipts.
It's unbelievable. It's absolutely
ridiculous.
The reason why I show so much pre-selection on my IG is to show other people, no, this is who I actually date. And it's really hard because I'll be honest with you, 85% of the guys in the pickup community they're actually making men worse with women. They actually are. There's some,
and they don't show any receipts.
Yeah, they don't show any receipts whatsoever. It's one of the craziest things I've ever seen that they do this, and they don't know what they're talking about, and they have these huge followings because they continue to say these platitudes. Guys who are dating coaches recommending you get on dating apps is insanity to me. Any guy who goes on the internet and says you need to go up to a woman and tell her she's beautiful on the open should never be allowed to give dating advice. Like literally, the federal government should come and take your privileges on social media away for giving such terrible advice. Any guy who says just be yourself should be put in handcuffs and tried on a felony count of negligence. Like any guy who says this nonsense, they should be arrested. It's so wild. So two parts here. When you're successful, it will never feel authentic. I'm going to say this again. When you're successful, it will never feel authentic. Let me say it a third time. If you're unsuccessful and I teach you to do something that creates success, that means you weren't already doing it, which means it will always feel unauthentic. You need to get used to and be attracted to things that don't feel authentic. You've got to get over this idea of feeling authentic. No, when you go up and talk to women and make them laugh, if you're an introvert, it won't feel authentic. But when you're fucking your dream girl, it won't matter. That's the difference. It's not about feeling authentic. It's about the results that you get. Now, as you become more successful in whatever field it is, there's a great book on this called The Winner Effect. Your neurochemicals that imposter syndrome will start to fade away over time, and you will put on the mentality of the successful guy. But in order to do that, you need to step outside your comfort zone. You're using the word authentic. It's not authentic. It's scared ego inside the comfort zone. I am a sheep and you're asking me to be a lion. Yeah. That again, if you are a sheep, you're watching this and you're one of the people who you can relate to some of the things we're saying. You're a sheep. We're asking you to be a lion. If I ask a sheep to be a lion, is that authentic or inauthentic? But I've turned hundreds of sheep into lions. Again, let me say one other thing before we go with the skepticism. We've got 200 video. Not only do I have receipts of the girls I've dated, but 200 video testimonials on moamentoring.com/testimonials. I would recommend to you, if there's one thing you take away from this video, do not buy any course that doesn't have at least 200 video testimonials, and 0 people were compensated for giving us those testimonials.
Yeah, Casey, how do you deal with the guys who like they are obviously they've invested to work with you, they want to, but like it doesn't feel authentic for them to take the actions that need to be taken?
Yeah, I mean, I always just go back to like what result.
When I do it, if I say it, you just call me.
Well, you are. But aside from gay people like you, the biggest thing is like I always go back to like the results. I'm like, okay, what results do you want? Okay, so you want these results. Okay. But you don't want to do the things that are going to get you those results. That is like blowing my mind here. It's like I want to be a doctor, but I don't want to go to school to be a doctor because I don't feel authentic going to school. It's like, no, if you want to be a doctor, you go to school and you become a doctor. If you want to get good with women, you learn from Michael Sartain how to build a best social circle, be surrounded by beautiful women, have a bunch of beautiful women be your friend, and get introduced to the girl of your dreams who is immediately attracted to you through your life. And so like, that's the biggest thing for me is like authenticity doesn't matter at all. It only matters like what results do you want and what is the backwards, like reverse engineer what you need to do to get those results and be okay with whatever that answer is. Because it's
the guy that you think is try hard and you think he's not authentic is the one who will take your.
It's only try hard until you get the results, and then everybody's like, "How did you do that?"
Yeah, that's what did it for me. It was in my 20s, seeing the hot girl, getting put in the friend zone, and then seeing the guy she goes out with. Let me ask you something. Who in the world is more try-hard than Machine Gun Kelly? Can you guys give me a name of anyone who's more try-hard? He tries to talk black. He wears a pink dress, covered in tattoos. Who is more try-hard than him?
You'd be hard-pressed.
And who didn't want Megan Fox? Again, you've got to get over the try-hard thing. When you think about, great salesmen, whereas Jordan Belfort or Donald Trump, they would sit there and sell their idea, which came off as try-hard. Grant Cardone's the best example. Is there anyone in this space who's more try-hard than Grant Cardone? Nobody. Nobody pushes his deals down your throat more than Grant Cardone. And you want to know what? He can't hear your criticisms over the sound of the $1 billion he has right now.
Yeah, if you took away all of his fame and his money, he would look really cringe and try hard with what he's doing. But he has the results because he was willing to go through that phase of cringe try hard.
To do the unauthentic thing you were afraid to do because you're a sheep.
This actually does tie in. I often see this, and I even see this when I meet guys out. I think it's just total cope, but they're like, yeah, but like, I don't want to build these female friends, or like, I don't want to meet these girls because like, she's not the one. That girl's not my type. I'm like, dude, if I put your girl, your ideal type in front of you, you will get destroyed.
Yes.
But it's a cope to not take action.
Just imagine, I'm trying to teach you how to play basketball, but you don't want to come to the gym with me because it's not an NBA game. You're not good enough to play in the NBA.
Yeah.
You're sitting
That's
there.
A great analogy.
You're sitting there telling me that you want to do things to get your dream girl. Bro, if I put your dream girl in front of you, you would sound like a fucking idiot. You would sound like sheep. You would sound like a beta male. Your voice would crack. You'd start bragging to her. You'd do most of the talking. Your eyes would dilate. Your palms would become sweaty because you aren't used to being around attractive women. Be used to being around women in general and being used to creating attraction in dozens, if not hundreds of women. Then when I introduce you to your dream girl, you know exactly what to do. You know exactly how to behave. And even if you don't know it, because you've experienced so much success, you become it. You almost like take off. It's almost inner game. There's that word again, inner game that happens. It's like because you've had so much success with women, when you meet your dream girl, you're like, oh man, she's amazing, but I can also take it or leave it.
Can you imagine like Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, any of these high-level athletes, their coach goes up to them, tells them to do something, and they're like, that doesn't feel authentic.
That doesn't feel authentic.
I don't want to do that. That doesn't feel like me. Are you kidding me? Like,
Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah,
Bro, well, let's even go a step further than that. I see all the time where guys who are actually more successful than us, way richer than us, more athletic than us, they still get taken advantage of.
Yeah.
Travis Hunter just his girl cheats on him. He drove her to parties where she was dancing with other dudes, and he still got tricked, and he ended up marrying her. But you got what it takes.
Yeah.
You know what you're doing. You know what to do when you meet your dream girl.
It's so incredible. It's like when you see it's the Travis Hunter, Jeff Bezos, Will Smith effect, where it's like
Bro, I want to find them and get them in our
Yeah,
this is why
we could actually.
This
help
is
them.
why I tell guys it's harder once you get the girl.
Yeah, it's
like you look at the celebrities
yeah.
who could have had any girl that they wanted, and then they get a girl,
again,
and the girl leaves.
Elon Musk and Johnny Depp put their dick in Amber Heard, who on a bed and it had borderline personality disorder. Like, you just have to understand, PJ Washington is a great player who got Brittany Renner, that piece of trash, pregnant, and now she got Kevin Gates, and you see like within 90 days she's divorcing Kevin Gates. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. These men, why is it that this is happening? Why? Because they thought, I'm going to get good with money, but learning women, I can learn that down the road. Or my money will protect me and attract the women into my life. I don't need to understand game, Michael. I don't need to understand that stuff. And that because you don't understand game, but you're successful, you become Will Smith, you become Jeff Bezos, you become Travis Hunter, and you become like several other of these guys who just don't understand what they're doing.
The number of guys who come into our program who are rich,
Yeah.
good looking, crushing it in life, and then come in, they had zero skill with women.
Yeah.
It's just wild. And it's because they just dedicated 20 years of their life to making money
Yeah.
and becoming successful. You know?
Casey, would you agree that there were times where like there was a guy around you who was maybe better looking, more successful, richer, and like maybe it was his boat, and then you still win?
Of course, all the time, like all the time.
Yeah,
all the
when
time.
they're try hard,
Yeah.
then you end up, boy, it's the worst. And the thing is, you lose friends over this.
Yeah.
You have a guy who bought a yacht, has you and a bunch of girls go out on the yacht. You brought him 13 girls on the yacht, but the hottest one goes home with you, and now he hates you. It makes no sense because he worships at the altar of looks, money, and status. So therefore, the fact that you took his girl makes him angry at you because he didn't understand game. He didn't understand that bragging about his yacht or how much money he had made him lower status and made women more likely to take advantage of
just
him.
sits there and
Yeah,
qualifies.
for the audience,
all
can you
day.
differentiate what you mean by like game and then status?
Yeah. So game is your internal ability to like when I'm think about the quarterback who knows all the plays. Think about Tom Brady near the end of his career. He could go play for any team. He'd seen every coverage. One of my favorite videos is Tom Brady going back. He does this play action to the running back, and he says to the running back, cover two. He at the snap knew what the coverage was because he's Tom Brady. He's seen every blitz you can throw at him. Game is the ability to adapt, overcome, and know exactly what I need to do to create attraction triggers, and then know when I have enough attraction and then move over to comfort. Game is understanding where you are in the interaction, and game is truly understanding how to sell a feeling to women as opposed to getting logical. That's what game is. Status, so game is in you. Status is what everyone else sees. So for instance, if I become a famous movie star, if I'm Timothy Chalamet, right, and I have no game, I still get attraction for women because my status is so high.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So that's the difference. Status is always perceived. Status is the price of the S&P
Status
500.
is a feeling.
Status is not a feeling, but
Yeah.
status is always perceived. It's the price of the S&P 500 every day. Like now it's at 6,400. The price of the S&P 500 is the perception of everyone voting by buying and selling to get it to that price. So your status is an externally perceived thing. Your game is internal, and it's the playbook that you've memorized in order to win the Super Bowl.
Michael and I were talking about this. Tell me about what your opinion is. Like when you have all things going for you and you have bad game will hurt you more than good game will help you.
Yeah. So one of the things I talk about with a lot of my clients is like you just have to get to the point where you're not disqualifying yourself from the girl.
Yeah.
And a lot of that comes down to like when we talk about fixing your Instagram, the first step is getting your Instagram to a point where you are no longer disqualified because of your Instagram. You don't have the shirtless bathroom mirror selfie photo in your Instagram that the girl is literally like wanting to throw up when she looks at it.
But the gay men are not. If you want to attract homosexual men, those shirtless photos, terrific. Keep posting them.
Fantastic. So when it comes to your game, like in some ways, you just need to get it up to the point where you're not fucking it up with the girl. Like where she's not just absolutely disgusted by you. And it's a very simple transition into stop fucking qualifying yourself and talking about yourself and bragging about all the things you've done and get her to talk to you. And when you have that combined with status, combined with pre-selection, it's wild.
So one of the issues that I see often, and this happened to me a long time ago when I first got into self-help, is that there'll be some sort of like beginner level course. There'll be some like intro level course, or maybe free YouTube videos, a course that you can get for $5, or a free course for texting to a number or leaving a comment with a certain word. And with those courses, what happens is the purpose of those courses, and I know because we do the same thing, is to let you know what's possible. If I take a little bit of action, here's the result I get. The problem that people get into is they start thinking, because I took this beginner course and because it worked for me, I don't need any more help. I'm done. I figured that I can figure all of this because they got a little bit of momentum. They figure that I can get all this on my own. And the problem, like you've said before to me, Casey, is the concept of you need a coach. Like the idea that somebody else could become a surgeon or an NFL quarterback without a coach is preposterous. You need a coach. And the other problem is the incredible waste of time that happens when you don't. Again, the more I invest in coaching and the more I invest in leveling up my education, the more time I save, not the more time I waste because I work smarter, not harder.
Yeah, I mean, you can think of it in a couple different ways because there's going to be some of you guys out there who are high level, successful, like you've accomplished a lot in your life. And to me, it blows my mind when guys are willing to waste their time when time is easily their most valuable resource, especially you guys who are high achievers. Like this should be a no-brainer. It's like pay to save time every single time. I pay guys all the time to save my personal time because my personal time is my most valuable resource.
Yes.
You will never get that hour back that you spent that you could have had someone else make it 15 minutes.
Yes.
You know? And the other side of it is like for the guys who maybe you do have an abundance of time, maybe, you're just starting out and you're a little bit younger, you have more free time, but it's like all of you guys, like if someone today, and we'll go back to the surgery thing because it's great. It's like, if I was to tell you needed brain surgery, and I told you that the brain surgeon learned how to do brain surgery
from an intro course.
Watching an intro to biology
He
course.
watched a free intro course on iTunes U and then went to the Khan Academy and watched another intro to biology course. And he's going to do a brain surgery. He's going to figure it out on his own.
Exactly. You'd be like, no, I will take the guy that did a 4-year residency with a brain surgeon and shadowed that guy for 4 years. And learned how to do brain surgery.
You'd be more likely to trust him the better school he went to and the better education.
Exactly.
Because that's more of an investment on his part to get into that school, to pay for that school. And so because of that, the more investment. So for instance, just...
Oh, wait. Let's add something to that.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, the guys who, at least this is my experience, Casey, I don't know about you, but the guys who actually run businesses, are rich, are in really good shape, they actually are the most coachable people because to get to that point, they had to drop their ego and admit that they need help, and then they do that in every other area of their life. It's the guys who have nothing going for them who won't drop their ego and accept the help and accept that they need help.
Yeah, the dropping the ego thing's so great. Like I said before, I do things when I don't want to do them, right? That is part of, availability is the best ability. That is part of dropping the ego, and it's really difficult. Again, when you're a hater, the biggest problem with being a hater is that you can never succeed because you can't learn anymore.
Another thing as well, like for me, I've bought so many courses that cost like $300, $500, $700. Probably 80% of them, I went through 10% of the content on. I'll just be honest. Yeah. And it's because I didn't value. But the mentorships that I spent $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, I got every ounce of value out of that. I got more like for the $300, $500 course, I got less value than I paid for. For the $10,000 course, I got more value than I paid for because I was I just spent this insane amount of money. Which isn't even that much, but like to me, I was like, okay, I got every ounce of value out of it. It's insane.
We've bought coaching from Jeremy Minor and Cole Gordon, just full disclosure here. And both of those guys are good friends of mine. And I will tell you, it's an investment. It's a serious investment.
Yeah,
so you seriously pay attention.
We've invested in more coaching than any of you watching this.
That's a good point. Yeah, we have spent more money on our personal coaching to grow this business. Because we know that this is, especially in comparison to like secondary education, going to college. Do you understand how stupid you would be right now to try to learn AI from trying to go to college as opposed to taking a course on it with an expert? It's 100 to 1 better. You get the results quicker because the guy who's selling you the course has to show you results immediately. And like I said before, and I'm going to say this again, do not take any course from this point on in your life unless they have 200 testimonials minimum. If they don't have that, then I wouldn't believe them. That's the only, if you're skeptical, and I recommend you guys be skeptical, only take courses that have 200 video testimonials or more.
Yeah. And I even noticed it, like you talked about the schooling thing, like, well, there is an element, like a lot of you guys don't know this, like, so we got Harvard guy as our coach, Harvard professor as our coach, and then another coach also went to Oxford. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah.
He went to Oxford.
Yeah,
but like,
he did. Yeah.
You trust us because of like the work that we've put in ourselves. So take advantage of that.
Well, yeah, there's multiple Ivy League graduates. Remember
That work for us.
Yeah, that will not only work for us, that are in the course.
Oh, in the course.
Yeah. There are tons
many.
So many of them. You remember the one guy, he's a club promoter now, graduated from Columbia. We were just in Boston with that other guy who went to Harvard with us. Like there's several of us that do that. The other thing that's just so impressive about our program to me is how many fighter pilots are in the program. Isn't it crazy? You know how hard it is to be a fighter pilot? Yeah. We have so many F-18 fighter pilots, F-16 fighter pilots in the program. And obviously I know it's partially because I was an Air Force officer. And the other thing is, like Ryan Leonard is an E9 in the Marine Corps. I want you to say that again. For any of you guys who understand the U.S. military, he is pinned on E9 in the Marine Corps. Do you understand how hard that is to do? So many accomplished guys have come into the course, and the reason why they've done it was because in other parts of their life they had success, but with women, it was this weird, really confusing area. So again,
and we talked about this. I was like, none of these guys would have taken a pickup course.
Of course not.
None of them.
Yeah. That's definitely. I mean, that's definitely an issue. I think,
or they did, and then they.
I think a lot of them would have taken a pickup course 10 years ago, for sure.
Sure.
But I haven't really gotten into this. This is a little bit socioeconomic here, but the reason why pickup was so popular is because it did work. Like back in the day. Then
we watched it.
Yes.
We watched the video of Mystery picking up a Victoria's Secret model.
Then hot women stopped going out. The incredible validation they get from Instagram and from OnlyFans. And you might be saying, well, Michael, not every girl's on OnlyFans. So 1.4 million women are on OnlyFans right now. And there's also 500,000 prostitutes in the country. So we're talking like 8% of women, probably close to 10% of women that are attractive are on or sex workers are on OnlyFans right now. It's crazy, crazy numbers. And here's the part. The girls that are on OnlyFans who make $50K a month, what do you think that does to the girl who isn't on OnlyFans who's just showing pictures on her IG? She gets more lascivious, showing more shots, more bikini. Why does she do that? Because it has downstream ramifications. And because of the incredible validation women are getting virtually, hot women aren't going out anymore. So you have to create an event or an offer that makes them come out. And when you do, you'll notice all of a sudden there's 7 hot girls for every guy.
Mike, a lot of guys, it's actually this is actually a great study I read the other day where a lot of people in my generation, they're actually giving up drinking. And a lot of people think like to do this stuff, you need to be involved in drinking, doing drugs, and stuff like that. So, I know you drink, so much alcohol. And I know that, you use that as a crutch.
So didn't someone say I have a fat face from all of the beer
I know
drink?
your face is red from all the alcohol you take. But for the guys who don't want to drink, how do you handle that?
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, I have never been drunk in my life. I have never tried marijuana. I've never tried Molly. I've never tried ecstasy. I've never tried anything. The furthest I've gone is after knee surgery, I had a Percocet. That's the most drugs I've ever tried. Okay, I've never even tried Adderall. I've been completely stone sober my entire life, and I've had no trouble going up and talking to women. And so what I've tried to do is help promote for other men when they want to be sober and understand, like, again, if you drink to go out and meet women, there's a price you have to pay the next day. And as you get older, that price becomes worse and worse. The hangover, the lack of focus, the poor sleep,
There's a price you pay that night as
There's
well. It's not even just like the next day.
Yeah, alcohol is
You watch guys who drink, and they get about 2 hours into the night, and it's just like, whoop, it's just steep cliff.
Well,
as they fall
yeah,
off.
so
Because
it's
alcohol
incredibly
does not
expensive.
make up for poor game.
Yes, cool. Alcohol actually makes your game worse. Now, here's the thing. There's a couple of misconceptions. Number one, you're correct. Your generation drinks less than they did back in the 80s, 90s, and the early 2000s. The other misconception is the idea that this is a big one that I get. So I host bikini swimsuit competitions and pageants. When I have the pageants, what guys see is small waist, big tits, or really nice body, very beautiful face, and they confuse that with the club. So here's the problem. It's really difficult. Remember we did all those photo shoots at Ranch Island. You have a girl who looks like a party girl because she's hot, but she gets up at 7 a.m. and all she does is go to school. And that's the confusing part. I want the good girl that's low stimulus, few tattoos, low body count, young, doesn't have sex on camera. I want that girl. That's why I do these pageants. But what happens is guys see when I'm with those girls and they think, oh, that blonde with the big boobs, she looks like the I saw at the club the other day. And so they get this part confused and they don't understand the difference between the two things. That make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you talk more about that? Like how guys in the club, they drink. And we actually talked about this during immersion, right? Where we actually discouraged for all of immersion, don't drink.
Just so you guys know, if you guys come to immersion, no men can drink alcohol during immersion. The girls can drink the alcohol. The girls can drink the alcohol if they want, but there's no men drinking drinking during immersion. Alcohol makes you fuck around. That's the opposite of game. When you are not doing what we asked you to do, that means you're just fucking around. That means you're just wasting time drinking. But here's the main thing that I actually do want to go over, which is the concept of a lot of you are drinking who are watching this because you care what other people think about you. Remember beta male sheep? You're a beta male sheep when you care. Michael, I go to the club and there's a girl and she thinks it's weird that I'm not drinking. What is wrong with you internally? How have you become such a beta that you care that someone cares that you're not drinking? And how much do these people care about your well-being if they're willing to cause you to drink a poison, a literal toxin, and then in drinking that toxin, they make fun of you for not drinking more? Do they care about your bench press max, the empire you're building, the business you're building, the 10 you're dating? Of course they don't. They don't care about any of those things, which is why they're trying to get you to drink with them. I understand there's wonderful people who drink. I'm not saying everyone who drinks is terrible. I'm saying that you as a man watching this, you have a burden of performance, and alcohol does not get you closer to performing.
Yeah, and one of the problems is like as you continue to drink and go out and be social, you attach yourself being social and charismatic to alcohol. It's like, I can't do this if I don't drink. And the problem is that as you go through MOA, you're going to want to start going out a lot more. It becomes extremely unhealthy, where it's like every time you go out, you feel like you have to drink alcohol or you won't be social. And so the key here is if once you pull away from that, you stop drinking alcohol, and then we give you the tools to go out and get results sober, you disattach from, oh, I need alcohol in order to get results, and your life 10x's immediately. It's crazy.
Yeah. Again, the no drinking thing, the main issue that people have is you care what other people think about you. And you've gotten, again, also it comes from identity. I know people who are, say, Mexican or Irish, and they're like, well, I have to drink. Or you come from a culture where people were drinking at 14. And you just think, well, of course, I'm Irish. I have to drink, right? That's what happens. And again, you don't. You guys need to understand yeast. Think about yeast. And yeast takes a doo-doo. And that doo-doo is what you're drinking. Tell me what part of that is wrong. That's not even exaggeration. That's what you're drinking.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm not sitting here trying to shame you. There's alcohol in my apartment right now for people who want it, just because so many people have this impossible time. It's so impossible for them to be social unless they drink. And I understand the majority of the world needs a crutch. And I don't blame them, because the majority of the world is poor and fat and sad. And I get why they need to drink. They're going to end up ending their own life if they don't. I get it. But you are a man. You're a man who has a burden of performance. You don't have the privilege of being able to poison yourself when you want to perform better or meet women. You don't have that privilege. So stop drinking. It's pointless. That's number one. And number two, if you don't want to drink, you're already coming to us because you don't want to drink. And by the way, that's what we specialize in. We're the first program in the world to specialize in going out and meeting women without any alcohol or drugs or using money in any way whatsoever. We're the first program to do that. In that we're doing that, I need you to understand there's the reason why you care so much and the reason why it feels awkward. It's like, well, Michael, I don't want to drink, but then this girl kind of forced me. Dude, I was dating an Irish supermodel and she wanted me to drink every night. And I remember just being like, yeah, I'm just not going to do it. And do you want to know what happened at the end of the night? She still had sex with me. Isn't that wild? Isn't it crazy when you just pay attention to what people do and stop listening to what they say? How many times I've had girls be like, why don't you drink? That's weird. And I'm like, I don't give a what you think. And then they still go home with you. It's just so like, stop paying attention to the words and you'll be better off.
Yeah, when you have a strong frame around it, it's like, it's so easy for you to just say no. And that's the cool thing about being part of MOA is like, you're surrounded by a bunch of guys who are getting the results that you want without alcohol. And so everybody here in this program is supportive of that. You're not going to hear a guy be like, bro, take the shot of tequila. Like, you're not going to hear that in this program. In fact, you'll hear the opposite. It'd be like, bro, why the f are you drinking?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, anyway, guys, I want to thank you all for checking us out on this. For those of you, again, the gift I want to leave you with, if we don't have any other interactions, you never meet me, you don't do any of the coaching, none of that, it's totally fine. What I want you to leave here with is this concept. I need to stop caring what other people think about me. I need to give myself permission. I need to lower my ego. I need to understand that I need to take action when I don't feel like doing it. And that's an ultimate skill. I need to understand that continuing education is how I accomplish my goals faster. And while skepticism is important, like I said before, the other thing I want to say, don't take any courses unless they have 200 video testimonials. I want to make sure you guys understand these concepts. And again, no drinking. You don't need to drink in order to feel comfortable around women. If you're one of these people trying to give up drinking, or you've always wanted to get rid of drinking, or drinking causes you to become foggy or unproductive the next day, this is the right place for you. We want to let you guys know that, again, giving yourself permission and taking chances, especially some of you guys know who I'm talking about. Some of you guys are watching this. You come from a homogenous culture where your family told you what to do, where to go, shut up in the corner, don't be creative, don't be expressive, etc. If you want to break from that and stop being a beta male sheep, if you want to stop being part of the matrix, just a beta who just follows what the crowd does, it's time for you to think for yourself. And in doing so, you have to do things that are awkward. You have to do things that don't feel genuine. Get rid of that genuine or awkward idea. And the other thing I want to tell you is, if you got the information and people are trying to tell you to take action, don't put it off till tomorrow. Don't say, I need a day to think about it. That's weakness entering your soul. Get rid of that. It's time for you to be an alpha male, to be an individual, to be masculine, to make your own decisions. I'll see you guys next week.